What I have here is a 1964 Courier 23 channel tube radio, or tube CB, and I got it apart right now because there was no sound coming out of the speaker. And when I got this, I got it on an online auction for $6.49 because I was the only one that bid on it. But of course, it was like 20 bucks for shipping, 25. But there was a phone jack coming out of here, so I think that's someone had bypassed this. I hooked the speaker up to the audio transformer, and when I did that, sound came out fine. There's something, this speaker cone is sticking inside there, and so what I did is I looked around. I got, this is an old thing, I got an old amplifier, but this has the same speaker with the same dimensions. This one works. So I'm going to replace that speaker with that because it's kind of a process to get it open. And this little transmit receive light doesn't work. I can reach up in here. I don't have a mic for this. It's got this weird big connector, but I can close the transmit receive relay with my hand. And I measured this. This is a neon light, about 35-40 volts. But I don't have one of those things, but I found this jumbo red LED, fits perfect in there. It's not original, but I think I can just put a resistor in series so it doesn't get too much current. I've seen a couple other guys on YouTube have these. They seem to work. My new strategy is if it's not broke, don't fix it, because I've messed up a couple things so far, like this old late 40s tube amplifier. I tried to restuff a capacitor and I messed that up. Put the wrong values in actually. Anyway, worry about that later. But as you can see, this has got a lot of use. This was just covered with dust and dirt. I cleaned it all off. I found online, this is 1964 CB magazine. There it is, the Courier 23. 23 channels, 23 features. 189 bucks. That was a lot of money back then. And I also got a tube layout. This is a I got this from cbtricks.com. Operating handbook. And this is for the Courier Plus, but it seems pretty similar. There's just a range boost switch, and the grill looks a little different, but it gives you the tubes, operating instructions. Got some thunder out there. Show you some of the tubes. So I'm going to hold this by hand. Might be a little jiggly, but show you some of the tubes. This little trimmer cap here is for it says it's 6 megahertz trap, so that has something to do with the TV interference. This right here is a 6BQ5, and that's for the RF power. When I first got it, it had 2 power transistors over here, and I thought maybe that was like a push-pull amplifier for the output, but that's not. That's for the power supply. Believe it or not, this could be used as a mobile. So you would get a bracket and put this in your car, and you could run it off 12 volts. This is a 12BA6, and that is an IF amplifier. This little tube says made in England, so a lot of these tubes have been swapped out. There's different tubes. The original tubes they're like branded ECI on them. So some of these are RCA. There's some other ones, GE or something. This right here, the 6GH8. That's a mixer. 6 megahertz oscillator. This is a 6G8H also. In the schematic it shows a tube here for the plus, but I don't have a tube in this socket. It's got this coil. This is a 6B S8, which is a Cascode RF amplifier, a medium mu twin pentode. We got a thunderstorm going on right now. I don't know if you can hear it. See up there. It's really coming down now. Rain. Gutters are overflowed. Of course, here's the crystals. This is the 6 megahertz first IF. This is a 12B E6. Just second conversion crystal oscillator. It says pentagrid converter. This is a 455 kilohertz second IF. There's another 12B A6 here. That's an IF amplifier. There's another 455 second IF. This is a 12B A6 again. This is the 455 fourth IF. This is a 6 EU7. That's a microphone amp. It says high mu twin triode. And this is a 6BQ5. That's a audio frequency power amp. Power pentode. I'll show you. You can see that it says ECI by RCA. So I think that's original tube. Put that back in there. Show you the back of it. And like I said, these are those two. I had one around here somewhere. Let me see. Yeah, here it is. This is an old Heathkit power inverter. The same thing. These are two germanium transistors, and there's a transformer in there, and that's all there is in there. So somehow these make a square wave. I mean, it's not obvious how it oscillates, because those are the only components in there. But I would guess that this just makes a square wave, steps the 12 volts up to 120, and then it goes to this transformer. And this is the PA outlet. This is the meter adjust. This is TV1 trap. This is plate and load right here. These adjustments I think are for you can kind of tune the antenna. I'll show you the bottom. This one has 3. It's much cleaner on the bottom, of course. 3 capacitors there. The rest are all mica. And I borrowed a capacitance meter. It's all checked out. So like I said, I'm just going to leave it alone, not mess with it. I'll go ahead and replace the speaker and that transmit receive light, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's back together. Alright, I got it back together. Speaker's working good. Here's the old one. When I was trying to fix it, I ripped the cone, so I did the old fingernail polish trick. It seemed to work, but I replaced it. One problem I had is, I'm kind of bummed out about it. I dropped this radio off when I was putting it back together off the bench, and I broke the plastic on the S meter here. Hopefully I can find something else, but it's still working. You can see the nice chrome cover for this thing. It's pretty cool. The back. And there's one problem I've noticed right now is that it's receiving on all the channels, because I can check it with another CB, but it's only receiving well on the odd channels. So let me show you. Turn the squelch off. So that's channel 7, 8, nothing, 9, 10, 11, 12 is nothing, 13 is good, 14, and there is some Still getting a little bit out of there, but not much, so here's like 15. 16. 17. So it's receiving a lot better on the odd channels for some reason. I think it has something to do with the crystal synthesis. I'll look into it later when I get a mic. What I really need is this kind of connector, which is super big. I've never seen one of those. But I have another, I could have put a different connector in there, but this hole was so big in the cabinet, I could have put a washer over it or something. But I'll look around on eBay, see if I can get one that will fit this. But other than that, pretty happy with it. One other thing is I thought when I replaced the transmit receive light with the LED, I thought I could also, this meter's not lit, and I thought maybe I could drill a hole in there in somewhere and put a little ultra bright white LED in there and just tap off the voltage for this light. But there is no room inside that meter. It's packed. So, but other than that, pretty cool radio. I like it.